Yo, what's good, everybody? You guys are tuned in to episode 7 of the Wave Pod. And today we're switching it back into things. We're gonna talk about relationships in college and we're gonna be talking about ghosting. So, as always, make sure you guys follow us on the Wave Pod. That's THE.Wave Pod. I got two lovely guests here today. I got Leslie and Chloe. So, yeah. And also make sure 5-star on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you guys listen on all streaming platforms. Get those ratings up and tell a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend. So, all right, let's get into the topic. So, we're going to start off with relationships in college, and then we're going to kind of talk about ghosting. So, to start off, I'm going to just throw this out there. I just think relationships are accelerated in general in college. And what I mean by that is I think like people move too fast within college, which I get it. Like it happens to everybody, but like I feel like the stages of a relationship is kind of accelerated in college. And people been telling me that lately too. So and I'm starting to believe it. So I want to know y'all opinion on it.
I mean, you go ahead, Chloe.
So I was gonna say so Mike, how long do you expect to be talking to somebody? Like if you're trying to get to know them, like you could say, okay, like I understand if you meet somebody say in August and you're dating them by September, like that's kind of fast. But like how long do you expect to get to know somebody? Like I feel like 3-4 months is like decent, but like you can't be talking to somebody for like a year and you're like, oh, like I'm still waiting to be asked out.
Like at that point it's like it makes it seem like they're pushing it off or like waiting for something that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So how fast is too fast then? Because like it's some people that are just dying.
Well, like what I but like what I just said, like we get like, so what I was saying, like we get to school in August, right? Like the last week of August. And like if you're dating by like September 15th, like I feel like that's fast.
Yeah. And like I would also say like each relationship has their own timeline just because it's like depending on whatever it is that they're feeling and like what they're going through, like their connection could be great, like for all we know. So I think it just depends on the relationship and like if it's genuine or not. Like it just depends for like everybody, I would say, in my opinion.
I'm smiling right now because I think Chloe Chloe said something. She was like September 15th. So you got a week after Labor Day. That's basically it. You start off, you got a week after Labor Day. That's the case. So yeah, I agree.
Like some people start really fast, but like that's too fast. Like if you're in a relationship within 3 weeks, it's like you don't know anything.
Yeah. Maybe
you'll
know what
they're like
yourself into.
exactly.
Yeah. I feel that. But so what's a good mix of not waiting too long? So you would say like maybe about a month? Cause it gets to a point in time where you'd be like, okay, for real, where is this going?
I would say like, so if I came August and like hypothetically, like if you come in August and you meet someone in like whatever the same week at Boiler Gold Rush or something, and you really like this person, if it's not like solidified by at least Thanksgiving, then I don't think that's worth it. Like
so holiday
season. At the same time, it's like I'm not trying to waste my time. Like you're either with it or you're not.
You can't like you don't go to college to waste your you don't go to college to waste your time. Like that's like old stuff. That's high school. Like most of the time, like you go, like I know when I came to college, my mom and my aunt both said you come to get your degree and your MRS, your Mrs. like whatever. So like you should find somebody. You should find somebody to like grow with. And like I think college is a good time too because you get to spend Like you don't. It's not like high school where it's like you go to school to be with your boyfriend, but then you go straight back home.
Yeah,
You
plus
know,
you
like
see them
college,
people
it's like
in
you
high
could
school
spend
all
a
day.
lot of
Like,
time.
you know what I mean? You see, like
Yeah.
at high school, you can see them people like 5 days out the week.
Yeah.
College is kind of different. It can be the same, but it's kind of different.
Yeah, like in college, you have the
Mhm.
opportunity to spend every day with them if you really want to. Like, it's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. So going back onto the topic of relationships and whatnot, and waiting too long. How you guys feel about the talking stage, like in general? So like define like the talking stage. So I'm saying like, what do you define the talking stage as?
Like, for me, the talking stage is like the time period that you're like getting to know the person and not necessarily like pressuring anything. Like, you're not necessarily like pressuring a label onto whatever it is that it is, but at the same time, like, you know that that could potentially lead into something. So that's what that means for me. But I also know that that's like a way for people to like push off everything else and just be like, oh, well, we're just talking. Like, okay, I can't be talking for like the rest of my life, you know?
I
Yeah,
feel
I
that,
agree.
but
That's
like,
like a stage to like vibe out and like get to know the other person.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's like casual, like, but I feel like it's just so many terms out there now. Because like you can date, but then like it's a difference between dating and exclusively dating. So what?
We got a special guest here.
Hey, Felice.
Hi, Chloe. Your hair's so cute.
Thank
I
you.
hope y'all ready for kickball later.
We are.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm saying like it's different stages. So like dating. So like dating, you can date other people. And I feel like nowadays, that point in time, like people get that confused now. Like if you go on one or two dates,
Look,
yeah,
you can date like as long as you guys say that you guys aren't exclusive. Like you could date around, but when you mutually agree like this is exclusive, like you need to dead everything else around you, like, and it's just us two type thing.
feel that. I feel that. Because I feel like some people just like automatically assume. So like you'll go on a date with them twice, and then they be like, "All right, we together," and then get mad at a certain point in time. But like nothing was never solidified. And I feel like that's one thing that ruins all relationships. I'm talking friendships, relationships, anything,
Yes,
communication.
because the communication isn't there. That's what it is. Because you could easily have that conversation with them and be like, look, I just want to understand, like, at what point you think we're on to know, like, what's acceptable and what's not. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
That's gonna bring it to my. That's when we talk about ghosting. That's the thing I'm gonna talk about communication as well because it's a big thing too. Because I feel like communication could save a whole bunch of things. I feel like people don't want to communicate.
yeah, because they're too scared to say certain things. Like, I think that's what it is because it's hard to bring up those type of conversations just casually unless you really like trust the person, which I feel like you should if you're going to be in a relationship with them. So, yeah, I don't know.
I feel like as a relationship goes, you should always want to communicate with a person, even if it's bad. Just like if you really care about that person, you gotta communicate so that way you guys know y'all on the same page and work to build towards something. You know?
Hmm.
But yeah, so let me see. We can switch the topic up a little bit. So how you guys feel about like things like when somebody says something's like slipping away, you know?
What do you mean?
Okay, so like, this has been a big excuse lately. So like people be like, I feel like this was slipping away, and that's when they go to ghost you, you know? Or be like, yeah, they don't want to talk to you no more. Like they feel like it's slipping away. you think that could be a lack of communication?
I mean, it could also be that the person's just like losing feelings towards you. Like maybe they're just not feeling you the same way they once were.
Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like some people just don't be blunt and just say that. Some people don't.
Like they don't want to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, just be like,
Yeah, because
like,
it's kind of hard like trying to be nice about it. Be like, look, I'm sorry. I don't like you anymore. Like that's going to come off a little aggressive, a little mean at times. So like maybe it's just their way of like trying to get around that.
but like, why don't like? That's the thing. Why don't you just let that person know? Like, no. I feel like that's like an excuse because like if you really, because if I feel something, like if you feel your phone slipping out your hand, what do? You grab for it, right?
Mm-hmm. But maybe they
Then
don't.
why?
Maybe they don't want to grab it. Like maybe
Then
they're just over it. Like maybe they realize, like, okay, this is not for me.
like
Like,
what? You see what I'm saying? Like if you get your
That
phone,
was a horrible analogy.
that's a great analogy. If you feel like your phone is slipping, you go try to grab it, right?
But
So
okay, but maybe
Mike,
you want a new phone. Maybe you want that phone to break so you could get a new one.
that's literally what I was about to say. Maybe you'll let that phone slip, let it crack, let it do whatever, and so you could get a new phone.
A better phone. Out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah,
so you never cared for that phone to begin with, then, huh?
yeah.
No, that's not true.
Well,
I feel
it
like
depends.
I feel like people could genuinely lose feelings.
I feel like people could genuinely
There
lose
could be
feelings too,
things.
but
There
but
could be
I
like habits, new things that people do that necessarily doesn't sit
Yeah,
right with you,
that
and you're
people
like,
don't. Yeah, exactly.
but you can't talk about those. You just up and leave, you know.
well, I didn't say you had to up and
But
leave.
look, Mike, if you met a girl and you met her the like boiler gold rush, okay, you met her first week you came
What the
here,
gold rush
then
is
like
one thing today.
you're no, I'm just saying hypotheticals. So you meet someone, let's make up a name. You meet Allie, right, at Boiler Gold Rush, and you're like, ooh, Allie's cool, like I like her, like we're vibing right now. Then you go to Calc 1 and you meet Rebecca,
Anna.
and you and Rebecca start talking, and you guys like start studying, and at the same time you're still talking to Allie, but you and Rebecca vibe a lot more. Are you going to tell Allie that you don't like her anymore, that you met someone new or something? I
We
don't
not
think you would.
exclusive. We not exclusive.
Exactly. And that, you know what it is? You're using that as an excuse. That's what it all is. It's like you're still communicating, but you're finding a different way to cover up what it actually is. What it actually is like, okay, I found someone new. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like you anymore. But instead of telling that person, you're like finding a way to get around actually saying that directly.
But I mean, like,
Exactly.
I'm saying if me and Allie was exclusive, I would have to say something. I would have to be like, well, dang, like, yeah, this ain't working out. But
Okay,
since we like just talking or whatnot, then I can do whatever I want to. Plain and simple.
Exactly. That's taking it back
so
to
what?
what our previous topic, like what the talking stage means different things for different people. So for her, like the talking stage might have meant like, okay, we're exclusive, we're only talking to each other. Like you don't know what like she's like you don't know what her like what that means for her. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I feel like people should like. So you think it's right that people should just have those conversations to like talk about like, okay, this is what we doing, just to cut everything out.
But look, so look at what you just said. You said if you were with Allie, like you and Allie weren't exclusive, you're allowed to do that, right? If you're the person who's like, who's dating around. But think about it from like Allie's perspective.
Allie
If like
probably
you
got
were in
Todd
Allie's
and
shoes,
Brad and
then you'd want an
everybody in
ex.
her DMs.
But no, look.
And
No, but if
But
you were
girls
in
were different
Allie's
than
shoes,
guys.
then you would then that's true, but like even if you were in Allie's shoes, Mike, you'd want an explanation. But if you were the person, like you met someone else, you just said you wouldn't give them an explanation.
Exactly. You
So
said
it
because
depends
it's
like
not
whose side
exclusive.
you're
Like,
looking at.
yeah.
Exactly.
No, I'm gonna say like, oh, it's somebody else, but I'll be like, it's somebody else, but like,
You're not about to say that.
But
You
how would
swear,
you
I swear,
exactly? How would you feel if you received that message?
like at the end of the day, it's like
You'd be
sometimes
mad,
things
right?
are left better unsaid because if at the end of the day you know it's gonna be over no matter what, are you gonna like still hurt that person's feelings by letting them know exactly why it's over? Or are you just gonna tell them like it's over?
honestly, now I think about it, like, dang, I think I think about it. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to reminisce real quick.
Oh
Like,
no, Mike. Let's
wait,
not go
wait.
back there.
I'm not. I'm just saying. Like, just let me think real quick. Yeah, sometimes things are better left unsaid. Just let the person get the hint.
Mhm.
But like, I don't. Well, yeah, yeah.
But I could
It's
also
some
understand it from
situations
the other.
I've done that before. I just had
Yeah.
them get the hint. They'll see.
Like I could also understand it from the other perspective just to have like peace of mind. Just like I know if I was the other person, I would want like the complete like honest truth on like what's happening, why it's happening. But I also understand that like if roles were switched, it's something that like just that's just how it happens. Like there's no even like getting around it at this point because it's something that everybody does, like girls and guys, like everybody does it.
Yeah, that's true. And when you said girls were different with dudes and DMs and whatnot, I'll nope. Everybody the same.
Oh,
Everybody's the same. I'll Everybody is the same. Especially when they single. All the same. They
no.
got the DM. I'm telling you. Phone line be bussing.
That doesn't mean I'm responding.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
true
that's
too.
true. You don't have to respond.
Yeah, you don't have to respond to because people be busy. Like you never know what somebody else is in with a different aspect of life. Like I know, like in certain point in times, like lately, I've been kind of like off on the responding to certain people because like I've been busy.
Your phone be busting, Mike?
No, I wish it
Mike
was.
got the hose.
I wish. I wish phone don't be buzzing like it used to. But like I'm saying, back in those days when your phone be bussing, like you kind of be messing up on other aspects of life. But like when you focused on something else, like when you focus on something else most of the time, you don't be having time to respond too much. You be out doing
Exactly.
other stuff.
And that's when you like, I feel like that's when honest, like genuine connections come about because it's like, you know, you're not putting your focus in that because you're focused on something else, that something good just happens to come and like, it literally just comes to you instead of you going out and like looking for it.
Yeah, that's right. And I just feel like, I don't know, sometimes you just gotta take a time and digress from stuff. That's one thing I've been learning. Like I've been digressing a little bit, and I've been on social media as much as I've been,
Exactly. Like
constantly
taking
checking
time
stuff.
for yourself.
Yeah, and you learn a whole bunch. Cause
Mhm.
I ain't been having time for social media and stuff like that. So I've been busy lately, throughout the day. So I've been like on like a boom, 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 boom type of situation. And I've noticed a lot about like I'm starting to forget stuff when I get busy now. It's getting a little weird. But let's bring it back to the relationship thing and community. Like you guys are definitely right about like roles being flipped, but like I feel like it's just people just don't want to hurt the person, but at the same time, like you kind of hurting the person either way.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like if you're blunt about it, those like 5 to 10 minutes of you being blunt will hurt the person less than you not saying much, because that's gonna really hurt the person, because that's gonna make a person think, and they're gonna be
That's
hurt for
like
long.
they're gonna get to overthinking and like overanalyzing everything and like start thinking like, oh well, maybe it's me, like maybe I did something wrong, or maybe there's something wrong with me that like I couldn't fulfill whatever it is that the other person needed. So I could understand that, but at the same time, like I said, like that's just something that everybody does. Like I haven't met a person that like
It's
I've
human
met a lot.
nature.
Yeah, Like, I met a lot of people who would be like, yeah, oh, I'm super real. Like, I'll tell you straight up. But when it comes down to it, like, if it's something that I know is going to, like, hurt my feelings, they're not going to be straight up and tell me that.
Yeah, but
Unless if
like
they're just an asshole, but like,
Yeah.
yeah.
some people be blunt. Like no matter what, some people is gonna like tell you how it is. Like I wish I was one of them people sometimes. To be honest with you, I wish I could just tell you like spare my feelings before yours. Like I wish I was one of them type of people, but like definitely not. I definitely like to consider other people's stuff. I'd be like, dang, what if I always put like that's the thing, like that was one of the worst terms I could have ever learned it. Put yourself in that person's shoes. That's one of the worst things I could have learned. Cause sometimes I be putting myself in other people's shoes when I shouldn't. I'd be like, all right, let me see. Like, what if I was in their shoes? How would I feel if I said this to them? So that's why a lot of times I don't say nothing to people. Like that's just in general too. Like somebody will do something or say something, I'll be like, damn, what if I'm in their shoes? How would I feel? Yeah, I just don't do, you know? So, but I say my advice to some people, spare your feelings before others. And that sounds bad, but I'm telling you, in a lot of situations, you need to spare your own feelings.
Because someone once told me, they were like, at the end of the day, the only person living with yourself is yourself. Like if you really think about it, like your whole entire life, you're the only person that's like you're gonna be experiencing your whole entire life with yourself. So you have to be able to like be okay with yourself.
Yeah, honestly, because you would think like you could think that person you like you talking to or that person you with or anything in general, you'll be like, oh, they'll never hurt my feelings, blah blah blah. They won't never. Then at the end of the day, they just snatch them. So always look out for your own feelings, you know. So we kind of touched into like the topic of ghosting, but like we could dive right into it. So like, how do y'all feel about ghosting? Like, is ghosting like a necessary thing sometimes or no?
I mean, if they're like stalkerish and like creepy, maybe. I don't know.
But
Don't have
like,
much experience in
I'm
this area.
saying, I'm saying like we could put a hypothetical in there too,
Mhm.
like to go along with what you're saying though. Like, can you just be all like leave me alone? But then like okay, so it's a warning. Like this is gonna be a warning to all my viewers out there, whoever's listening right now. They say leave if they say leave me alone, leave them alone. I don't care. Leave them alone. And and if they blunt about it, leave them alone. Let them be. As for any male, I said male woman, male, female, anything. Leave people alone. There's more people to talk to, so leave them alone. If they say leave me alone,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like, you need to catch the hint and go find the next one because not only are you wasting your time, but you're wasting theirs.
There's plenty of fish in the sea.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Cause some, but I feel like some people feel like as though ghosting could mean like not getting the text back. But like, I'll give you an example. So like, a person talks to you, you talking, and then all of a sudden they don't text back because they busy. Then you text them again, and it's just like a constant thing of that. Would y'all consider that to be ghosting or just not interested?
I wouldn't consider that ghosting, but at the same time, like, I'm a very understanding person. Like, if I know you're busy and have different things going on, I'm not about to be keep pressing you to text me back.
Yeah, exactly. And then I feel as though, like, on the other side of communication, like, sometimes that's just a little confirmation, be like, hey, I'm doing this right now. Or, hey,
Hmm.
I'm blah, blah, blah. Could, like, be a difference maker. Like, I'm not ghosting you. Instead of not saying nothing, be like, I'm not ghosting you. But sometimes it don't hurt to ask if that's the thing. Be like, dang, like, blah, 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 blah. Or, like, or dang, even if you say some like, dang, not like, am I annoying you, but something on those terms or something like that. Like, why you just to ask, just to see where that person's head at. But I feel like though this is ghosting. So like, watch this. Hey, red. Hey, red. That's when you leave a person alone because now you're on board. Hey, red. Hey, red.
Not even delivered. Like,
So-
you know they read it and purposely didn't respond. Like,
Yes, exactly.
the
That-
disrespect.
Leave that person alone. Let that person be.
Mm-hmm.
Let that person be. But like, if you say hey and they talking to you, and you think conversation cool, they just not communicating. Then they leave you on red every so often. But once it get to that point where you say hey red, just let it be. That one hey and red, just let it be. If they want to come around, they go come around. Trust me.
It could also be like the person might just be like more of a type of person to communicate with in person rather than through text, because there's a lot of people who just like are bad texters that when you're with them in person, like the communication is there, like, and they'll like match your energy and everything, but when it comes to texting,
they're just bad text. And then some people just bad texters in general. Like I feel like I rather talk to a person because I like to, describe my stuff. Like when I text, I'm gonna text for real. I'm gonna describe every detail almost. So I like talking to people, because I feel like texting. If you text a long thing, chances are some people just not gonna read it, which I agree.
mm-hmm.
Cause I think texting really messed me up in school, to be honest with you. This is a little off topic. Cause now I don't want to read long text in class. I don't read long text in class. I'm like, man, you gave me 20 pages to read for 2 days. I'm not reading them. I skim, be like, okay, let me see. But other than that, I think texting definitely ruined my reading comprehension. So well, not reading comprehension, just messed up my willingness to read in general. But yeah. So that's my tip of the day. And hey, red, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. And if they delete you, I don't know what to say. But if you feel as though you're gonna send them hey again, delete them.
Well, like me, like if I were in that situation and like I don't know, like I would do it like if I said hey to someone and they read it, like maybe the first time I think it's maybe an accident, like they forgot to reply. And then like I'll be like, hey, like what's up? Maybe a couple hours later. And if they read it again, then like I'll be like, okay, this person's not interested. But some people don't get that hint. It's just like they continuously text you and don't get the message.
Yeah, exactly. So like just leave that person alone. Just take that red. But if you want to be petty and know they'll respond, then just say something to them and leave them on red. That's a little hint. If you want to be petty like that, wait till they say something or they have something on their story, then be all like blah blah blah. Wait till they respond, leave them on red. That's a little hint though. Then they'd be like, oh, he left me on red, and then boom. But you didn't hear that one from me. But yeah, I just feel as though, I don't know. I just feel as though ghosting is just some of them things. Like, I feel like it's like going back to what we was talking about earlier. It's like leaving a whole bunch of unsolved things. Because like you put yourself in that other person's shoes. You would be overthinking everything once you ghost somebody.
Mm-hmm. That's true. But sometimes like ghosting is necessary. Like not like, well, I don't know if this would be considered ghosting, but sometimes it's like, okay, you've been with the person and then like it ends over something, and then like you realize it's gotten to the point where you have to cut them off all like everything. Like you can't have them on no type of social media, like no type of communication whatsoever, because sometimes that's necessary, like when a relationship ends, just because like if I find out you're toxic in one way, shape, or form, like I don't need that energy anywhere near me.
That's a good question, actually. I know you say you don't like, but I think some people love some toxicity, and it kind of adds a little spice, if you ask me. Me
You could keep
personally,
that.
me
You could keep
personally,
that.
I don't like toxicity because, like, I'm just saying, like, it's some crazy people out there,
Yeah,
but
a
like,
lot.
some people love that toxic lifestyle,
You could miss me with that. If you're toxic, don't hit me up.
Those notes by your cars and stuff like that. Some people love that toxicity, you know.
Notes by your cars. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, I was just thinking of the
Yeah,
first
Mike,
toxic thing I was
what?
talking about. I don't know, but
I
like,
think like toxic to me is like I know I mean, I personally I've never had this happen to me, and I don't know anyone that's had this happen, but like I know this girl, she's like famous, and she was in a really toxic relationship to the point where she stabbed her boyfriend. Like that's when like you need to cut it all out. Like that's not
I
good.
think
But like
if
if
you're talking
you're
about
saying,
Ari, right?
oh no, I wasn't talking about her. I was talking about this girl
Oh,
named Seven.
oh,
But Ari, I think she's toxic too, but
she
that's a whole
she
nother
stabbed
story.
her. She
She's
stabbed her ex
toxic.
too, multiple times.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
didn't know
Are you
that.
talking about
But like
Seven
I
from the
think,
Bad Girls Club?
What?
yeah, she stabbed her
Oh,
baby father. Yeah.
Toxic.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
saw.
But
crazy at
like
that point.
I
That's
would
not
say
even
like
that's
that's
crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
But I would say like toxic to me is like you can have arguments every now and then. Like in a relationship, you're supposed to have an argument. Like it's like not to say you're supposed to have one, but like it's normal to have one. Some people just completely don't like want an argument, but like I think that's perfectly normal to have a disagreement on something while you're in a relationship. And I wouldn't
no,
say that that's toxic.
no,
That's just
I,
like
I
you're trying to
I
get your
actually
point
agree.
across.
I
Mhm.
agree. Like I think of that about that in a friendship anyway. Like I feel like we not truly
Yeah.
friends if I can't argue with you and we be cool afterwards. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's weird or
Mhm.
not, but like if we cool after a good argument, we gonna be friends for a long time. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
I
that's
agree.
one of the things. Like argument. I feel like arguments is necessary because like that's how you really know a true person too.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like. So, do you guys think like the cutting of clothes and things like that is that toxic?
That's just crazy. Like there's no need for
Yeah,
that. Like
that's
what are you getting from that?
Honestly, I guess it's the satisfaction in the moment, but like I feel as though I
Like
never gotten the point of somebody literally just cutting up. Like, think about it. You had to take a good that's like at least 30 minutes to an hour. Sit and then people be cutting clothes. I mean shoes. And shoes is a hard thing to cut.
maybe finding different things to do at this point. Like trying to
Like
get creative with it.
you literally you sitting up there. How can you be mad and you got some scissors? How can you be mad for that hour just like this? Like I don't get it.
yeah. I mean, have I threatened like Bryce saying that I'm gonna break your Xbox? But like I would never, hypothetically, I would never do that if I were in a situation to the point where I was so mad. Just like even in general, like because I think about it like, what if someone like if I do that, then like out of retaliation and like the person's gonna do it back to me. And I wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
So that's how
Like
I think about it. Like if you know how they say do unto others as they would do unto you,
yeah.
like the golden rule thing. That's literally I was thinking about that last night. I was like, I mean, that's low key how I think. Like if I did something to somebody else or if someone did something to me, like I would automatically want to do that back to that person. Like out of spite, out of retaliation.
Yeah. And then at the same time you put yourself into that person's shoes. You're like, how would I feel if somebody took one of my
Yeah.
values? Because I know
Mhm.
personally, like somebody came and threw my PlayStation or my laptop or something, I'd be pissed. you just don't know what's going to spark a
Yeah.
person off. You never know. Like, the tiniest thing can spark a person off. And that's why you should, like, damage other people's
Mhm.
stuff. Because, like, it could be something just as little as, like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know, something little like a remote control, maybe. You break that remote control, somebody would just get sparked off and get mad.
Yeah, some people have like really bad like anger management to the point where it's like, oh, I could like they just snap at you like for no reason
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And like something so small like a little remote, like, oh, I dropped the remote, like a person could be like, oh my god, like what did you do that? Like all that and do too much.
Yeah. Trying to see, because Leslie popped out, so I was trying to wait on the text before I switched the topic up. But, like, yeah. And so I feel like maybe that's true too. And then, like, I think if the little breaks you have in between school when you have a relationship in college really is like a time factor as well. Because I feel like it's though, like, if you can survive those, because how long is winter break? Like, what, 5, 6 weeks?
Yeah, and this year we have like 2 months off.
Yeah. So, like, them are like the long time, like, tell. So, like, it's you can hang through that, then you really can get through anything. Like, I think a lot of people who,
Hmm.
like, the pandemic, the pandemic leave was something else too. That
Oh
shit,
yeah.
yeah. Because I think about it now, I'm like, dang, that was a long time if we think about it for real.
Yeah.
Because when did we leave? Like, when did we leave in
March.
spring? We
It's like
left in like March, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
hmm
so we left in like March. We didn't get back to like August. So that's about smooth 5 months, which is crazy if you think about it. But now that we here, it feels like it don't feel that long. So now that I think about it, it don't feel that long. But if you really think about those 5 months, a lot of stuff happened. So yeah. So we was talking about Leslie. We was just basically talking about the breaks, and like that's a test of a relationship really too. Those long distance breaks. And plus life after college. Cause you get job nowadays, you gotta get like people moving all over the place getting jobs where they accepted at and whatnot. That can also be a time tester too.
That's true. I just feel like it all depends on like the effort that each person is showing and willing enough to like put forward. Like if I'm not getting no type of effort from you, like if you're not driving at least like if I'm the one that's always got to drive to you to get to see you, like that's going to get tired like real fast. Like then it's like I don't know if you're interested or not. Like
But like, what if that person like okay, so what if that person's like don't have like a car or like can't like don't have access to certain things. So like you kind of got to, but like they come in and do something else.
yeah.
Like
I mean that was just like an example, but
yeah, no, I mean like
like
I'm
yeah.
playing along with it. Like
Mhm.
what if like
Like
they can't
that's
provide
understandable.
that way, but they can help provide in other ways.
But then it's like if they're not providing in any other ways either, like, okay, say like, okay, I go pick you up, go do something fun, whatever. Then like I'm paying for everything too. Like then what like where's the effort?
That's true. That's true. But like, hmm, yeah, I could see where you coming from too. But like, if that person, say for instance, that person was like down just right now, like how long is like the support system? How long do y'all feel as though a support system could be for a person? Because like a person could be down for a little while before they come up. I didn't see
Like what do
those
you mean
situations.
down? Like
Like down, like not like don't like they currently don't got no money right now. Things ain't looking too good. Like how long you think like somebody that support can be
I
there?
think I like if I was in a situation like that, I think I would give them a good 6 months, like 6 to 8 months, like to find a job. Like I understand like with some degrees, like you can't really necessarily find a job in something that you specifically want to do, but like with something like in business, you could always work for a company. But also at the same time, like I think about it now, like if someone did graduate, they didn't have a job, I personally wouldn't have a problem with them. Like, I know some people feel that they would have a problem with it, but I don't have a problem with someone working at Walmart just to get there, get their life straight, get their money. But like, if you're sitting there not doing anything, like you graduated, you don't have a job, you're not looking for a job, like you're not actively looking for a job, then that's like when I would have to cut ties because you have no motivation to do anything, and you're not um like that's just not something that I'm personally looking for. Like some people, I have a friend who's like that. She has a boy, like I don't know, a boyfriend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't go to school. He works at Walmart, but he doesn't do anything with his life. Like he just goes out and drinks, doesn't really like spend time with her or anything. And she's constantly complaining about that. That like it's not even the fact that he doesn't go to school, it's just like that he's always out drinking. And she goes to school, she doesn't really know what she wants to do, but like she constantly is complaining, and it's been like over a year that she's complaining. And I'm like, personally, I would have dropped him by now, because if we're not in the same mindset, or like if we don't have the same end goals of getting a job, getting money, buying a house, doing all this like stuff, then that's not gonna fly with me.
Yeah, like exactly. Like I feel like some people gotta have goals, but like you gotta see a person. That's one thing I look for in a person too. Like I look for like ambition and drive. Like you gotta have certain like
Hmm.
motivation and goals. Like I feel like I hate a person that don't
Like
got no
even
ambition
now,
and
oh
drive.
sorry.
Oh wait, yeah, you could go now.
Hmm.
I
No,
continue.
I was gonna say like even sorry, I was gonna say like even now, like if you're with someone and they're like say they're looking for a job or internship or whatever, as long as they're and even they're as long as they're constantly looking for some place to apply for and doing something, even if they're not getting the internship, as long as they show that they're being proactive and trying, at least just trying, then that's like cool with me. But if you're just sitting in your bed, like playing Xbox all day, not caring about a thing in the world, you're not actively looking for something to be productive in, then that's when it's like you got to cut ties with that person.
Yeah, like exactly. That's why like I like people with ambition and driving goals. Cause like what can you talk about with a person that ain't doing nothing all day?
Hmm.
Like I feel like it's though you gotta constantly like it's just like you're not bettering yourself. So how can you if you're not bettering yourself, how can you better like the others around you or like the relationship we're in?
Hmm.
And like going back to what I had said earlier about how like there's no effort being shown on from the other person, like them not trying, like them not driving, they're like me having to pay for everything. Like I would be understanding with that, like if they genuinely don't have it or like they genuinely like can't. And that like that's completely fine. Like I understand, like I'll step up just because like I care for you that much. But if I know that you're not doing anything to like change that, then there like there's no effort there either. Like if I know that you're gonna go like be on your game the whole day, like not trying to look for a job, not trying to like you're completely okay with not having anything, like that just doesn't sit right with me, because I know that for me, I'm working towards something and I want like I'm like I want to see you working to whatever it is that we're working towards together.
Yeah, I feel that. And like, I'll ask you the same question I asked like Chloe. Well, how long is too like? How long is too long? Chloe said like 6 months. Like, if she sees
Hmm.
like, if she doesn't like, if she don't see no improvement or you not trying like 6 months, then it's done. You know?
Yeah, I
How
would
long
say
you feel?
like I would say I would agree like 6 months, like that's enough time for you to like look for a job. That's enough time for you to look for internships. That's enough time for you to like try and change something about it, or at least like have that conversation with me. Be like, look, like I know where I'm headed. That's not where I'm at right now, but I'm gonna work towards it. Like at least have that conversation with me.
I know. And I know looking for jobs and looking for internships is a hard thing to do. Cause like I know it's been a rough one, but like I think that's gonna be one of the next episodes within the next week. I'm gonna have some people on and then we're gonna talk about successful factors for internships and jobs and whatnot. That's gonna be another thing we do. Cause like I definitely want to talk to people and give people some pointers and tips because nowadays, you know what? I don't want to brag, but last week I had like 8 interviews, even though it was for one company. And then it was like, let me see.
8?
It went, no,
Oh.
okay. So look, I had 4 with one company and then I had 3 with another company. And then I had like 3 in between. That's not 8. That's bad math, but still, that was a lot of interviewing. So, and then I got interviews next week. But like, I feel as though like it's certain tips and stuff and working with stuff. I feel like it's good to talk about and like have people on and talk about it because out of us, like I feel like we pretty successful people. And we know a lot of successful people, so I'm gonna get a few people on, and I'm gonna have a little talk about interview success and whatnot. So I feel like that's a good topic to talk about with people. And it's like, cause it's hard. Like the job market is hard right now. Not to get off topic, people probably gonna be like, "Dang, they talk about jobs now. I want to learn." But yeah, the job market hard. So if I gave some advice, just keep searching and keep grinding and talk to people. Because, I've noticed, like, especially around college campus, too, if you just get to talking to people, like, you'll end up finding people that know people or, like, it's the weirdest stuff. Like, you'll discover connections by doing different activities. So I say don't be afraid to get out your comfort zone. That's one tip of advice. Yeah, so I think that's about it. I think we pretty much talked about like relationships in college and ghosting and whatnot. I'm gonna say I was gonna ask y'all like the best way to break up with somebody, but I think I could say that for another episode or something. Yeah, I'm gonna say that for another episode. But anything else y'all want to add on to the topic and whatnot? Because I feel like we covered a lot of stuff. We covered ambition and driving goals. We covered ghosting. And we covered the talking stage. So anything else y'all want to add before we close this out?
No, I think we covered everything pretty much.
Yeah, we covered everything.
I would just say if you are in you find yourself always doing stuff for the other person or you put the other person before yourself, don't do that. Because sometimes you do need to put yourself in front of other people. That goes for like relationships and for friendships just in general. Like even people who like you're friends with, they'll take advantage of you and like you won't even realize it. And then you'll start to think about like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. What is this person giving to me? And like sometimes the cons outweigh the pros. So you have to like sometimes it's okay to like dead that. If you get what I'm saying.
Exactly. And I got a little tip. So to all the people that's been ghosted out there before, don't get discouraged, or if people not talking to you right now, don't get discouraged. Don't feel down. Don't be discouraged. Things will look up brighter. You're gonna find that person for you. Trust me. You're gonna find the person for you. So don't get down right now. Stay down until you come up. Work on yourself, develop, get different aspects of your life, discover a new skill, try to work on your other goals too. Because
Yeah,
sometimes people are temporary, but sometimes you got to work on your permanent situations. So getting your
exactly.
job, getting your money up, and all that type of stuff. So work on that, and then wait till
Everything
everything.
else comes later. It comes to
Yeah,
you. And if anything, it's probably going to be better than if whatever it is that you go looking for. Because if you don't know what you want, like, how are they supposed to know what you want?
yeah. So stop looking down and keep that head up.
And get your bread up. That's the new motto.
Yes,
Keep your head up and get that bread up.
yes. But yeah, that's to wrap everything up. Shout out to Chloe and Leslie for coming on. As always, make sure you guys keep on listening on Apple Podcasts, giving it a 5-star. Spotify. Shout out to my YouTube family out there, always commenting. You know, and don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure you guys post it on your IG. Make sure you follow the podcast IG, THEV.WavePod. And yeah, this has been a good episode. So I hope to see you guys in the next one next week. So, all right, peace.